guys, Tom by 601, and today we're taking out the Perth, and there's a reason for that. Well, it's Anzac Day. If you didn't know, Anzac is sort of the Memorial Day for our friends down under. It's the National Day of Remembrance for Australia and New Zealand that broadly commemorates all Australians and New Zealanders who served and died in all wars, conflicts, anything like that. It exists as the National Day of Remembrance for the first landing of the Anzacs at Gallipoli. And I was like, you know what? One, we got a new flag code. We'll make sure we distribute that at some point during the video. But you know, we haven't taken out Perth in a long time, and I want to take her out. I want to have a little bit of fun. So that's exactly what we're doing today. As far as map, we're on what I'm going to call little hotspot over on the A side. These tiny versions of the map are kind of always fun to me. I do enjoy the sort of closer quarters combat that we receive. Anyways, we've popped our smoke screen, of course. Perth has a unique smoke screen in the form of a crawling smoke, and you can see we kind of can maintain quarter speed and be concealed in the smoke as we fire our HE off. Podvoisky is kind of charging down the rest of our team with no care for his life, so we will happily take advantage of that as we chip away his health with our HE. But once we deal with him, then we can kind of start dealing our way. Texas here looks like he's going to start kind of crawling into our area. And our goal with Perth is damage over time. We don't have the high-performing AP that the British cruisers usually have. Of course, Perth is a Leander class, which is why we're bringing this up. Instead, we kind of have to rely on the HE and the fire chance, because HE doesn't have very high alpha. It's just about that fire chance. We see Pensacola over there. See if we can get a couple of rounds into him. I don't want to quite push the Pensacola yet, mainly because I don't want to have to deal with this Texas right now. I want to be able to try to get him down just a little bit more before we push in, because American Battleship, he can pretty much overmatch us anywhere. So while he starts to turn his attention to us, we're going to see if we can get a permafire started on him, because he did definitely damage con that previous fire, and we're going to try to turn and get back to this island cover off to our off to our port right now, but off to the right hand side of the screen. Pensacola popping out once again. We'll go ahead and send some AP his direction, because he seems to be content just to sit broadside over there, which is some good news for us. But at this point, I'm starting to get a little jumpy, a little like, okay, we kind of need to start making things happen on this side. If you look, we have 3, maybe 4, 4 ships being held off in the same area. We need to start moving, and we take a pretty decent hit from the Fuso right there. But we need to start making things happen. There shouldn't be 4 ships within about the size of a grid square. It's time to start pushing. And well, Pensacola, perfect candidate for said push. He doesn't have torpedoes. We know he's been sitting somewhat broadside a lot of the time. So if we can make something happen with that, it will be pretty good. We do, without thinking, kind of start firing at the Texas. I'm kind of trying to keep an eye on his guns to see what he'll do, but I also want to get that damage. I want to get those fires because, well, we need to get those damage over time. We're only at 33,000 damage at the moment. And as he begins to make this turn, we can kind of go ahead and realize it's time to seize the moment. It's time to make our push to force this Pensacola out of his location that he's been nicely holding for the entirety of this match. So we're going to begin to make our way around the island. As we do, let's go ahead and give out that flag code. So if you want the flag that we're actually rocking on this boat, the Anzac Day flag, you're going to want to go over to wowslegends.com/code redeemer and type in the code 0DVE1F M2, E3. Once again, that's going to be 0D, VE, 1F, M2, E3, and you'll get yourself a nice little Anzac Day flag. Has a poppy and the what we can call an Outback style hat on it. It's black and red. I think it looks pretty good. I think they did a fairly fantastic job as far as coloring goes. And that brings us now into this engagement with the Pensacola and the Texas. Texas going behind that island. Pensacola has put up his spotter plane to try to get eyes on us. We're going to flip over to AP just because we know that Pensacola has been willing to use all of his guns at the same time and give broadside. So we will prepare for that, as if that's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to go on. He's going to fire some rounds at us. Thankfully, most of them are going to ricochet thanks to that armor. He's going to stay nice and perpendicular to us. Get another couple citadels off of him right there, and we'll finish him off just like that as he takes a decent chunk of damage, or we take a decent little chunk from him. But that's Pensacola dealt with. We've now cleared out this side, and hopefully now our team can begin to push in, and we can now start properly harassing and haranguing this poor Texas. I will say, doing the best he can when it's kind of 4v1 on this side. I'm also trying to keep an eye on what's going on over on the B side as far as what my plan for the battle is now. I want to get into C, get us capping C. That way we, one, eliminate their point source. Right now, no one has B. I want to eliminate their ability to gain any more points by taking C. It'll give us a nice big lead. We are also pretty well up on ships as our Acosta takes out their last destroyer. And with that, they should have a fairly easy job of capping B down there. We'll cap C, and then we'll start to move into sort of the center of the map and try to support our team in taking out those two battleships that are off to the right-hand side of B currently. Because I think the three ships here, with our continued harassing of Texas, should be able to handle sort of this side of everything else, or at least that's the hope, that's the plan. As far as the boat goes, Perth, I will have to say, she was originally a boat that you could only get through the Halloween event. You had to pretty much play the Halloween event every single day, and you still had to pay 1,000 doubloons for her. And I still think she's somewhat of an underwhelming vessel in this game, especially for the effort you had to put forth if you wanted to get the discounted rate on her. Of course, you could have just bought Halloween bundles out and gotten coins with those bundles and then used those to purchase Perth. But I would have liked, I think, something a little bit more out of Perth, whether it be that she also has that British special pen angle AP, or maybe a slightly higher fire chance. Of course, the build we have, we couldn't increase it by like 1 or 2%, but I think we need a slightly more consistent fire chance out of Perth in order to make her truly a ship that would be, a bit better liked, a bit more well done. But that's just me, as we have a new friend in our smoke screen here. I think we're both just concentrating on getting Texas down as we wipe her here. And, it doesn't look like this, our Kriegsmarine friend wants to quite give us the room, so we're going to have to back off of him like this. I mean, fair play to him using our smoke. Kind of a small smoke screen bubble, which makes it kind of easy, especially if kind of middle of the smoke. It makes it a little bit easier of a smoke screen to sort of blind fire. But that's just what you get with Perth. It is nice having both the plane and the sonar. You do find yourself missing the heel a lot of the time on Perth, which is just one of those other things you kind of have to get used to with her, is that you don't have that security blanket that you usually have with something like Leander, where you can take a little bit of extra damage, heal it back up, you'll be fine. You don't have that in Perth, so you do have to just kind of be cognizant of what's out there, especially being a tier 5 cruiser where there's a lot of things. There's a lot of big battleships. I think you can easily say are the strongest ship at the tier, right? I don't think the counterplay of cruisers to battleships or battleships to cruisers and battleships to other battleships. I think right now that at tier 5, battleships are the premier class. They're the class you want to be. Where tier 5 is right where at that point where you can start to get a lot of the boats to have stealth fire torpedoes. It's one of those things where if you know what you're doing at tier 5 with a battleship, you can do pretty well. So we pick up the high caliber there. We do have a fire off on the New Mexico, and now we're gonna go ahead and concentrate on this Fuso. As far as the match goes, we're pretty much wrapping it up at this point. Our team has secured all the caps. We are up 2 cruisers essentially to their 2 battleships, and this should be a relatively easy time for us to finish it out. But with all that said, guys, happy Anzac Day. I think it is nice that we got this nice little free flag from the folks over at Wargaming. Make sure you go down there, you use it. Once again, you go over to wowuslegends.com/coderedeemer. Make sure you're logged in. Make sure you clear your cookies or whatnot. Whenever I post videos where there's a flag code, I usually get some responses at some point that says someone else claimed the code, and it's one of those things where it's one use per account, and it's an unlimited use code. So unless you already claimed it, it shouldn't say that. Anyways, guys, if you liked the video, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.